Next up, we have Veronica Ospina from Compass Group. She'll be telling us a little bit more about strategy and culture through a really diverse organization and keeping that conversation going through action.
Great. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about Compass Group and who we are, and then I'm going to share a case study from one of our companies. So we kind of joke internally and say that Compass Group is probably the biggest company that you've never heard of. And that's intentional because we're essentially a holding company for about 25 different sectors or companies that operate in any market imaginable when it comes to food. So we're in offices, we're in universities, schools, hospitals, arenas, museums, you name it. So chances are that if you have ever dined out of home, you have probably dined with us. We also do some pretty cool events like the Kentucky Derby, the US Open, and the Governor's Ball at the Oscars. So we're a food company, a food service company, and we really consider ourselves to be a people company. So we're people serving people. All right, some of the sectors. Those are some of our sectors. So I'm going to share this slide here. I won't read everything, but this will give you a better picture of what Compass Group is about. But what I really want to point out and draw your attention to is this 250,000 employee number. That's the number of employees that we have in the US and in Canada. That's 250,000 people serving over 9 million meals a day. The number for us is staggering, and when we think about it, we think that's 9 million opportunities to make a connection with our clients and our customers every day. 9 million opportunities. So when we look at this number, we have a huge responsibility to be engaged with our associates. We have an attract, retain, and engage people strategy that is really at the heart of our company. In everything that we do, we're focused on attract, retain, and engage. And one of the ways that we measure engagement is through a survey tool with our partnership through TNS. Right now we do surveys every year. And what's cool with TNS, that what we just started, is we made sure that starting in 2017, every single associate in Compass Group is taking the exact same survey. Before, we used to have 2 different versions, and versions for managers and for hourlies, and now everyone is giving the same kind of feedback. So I pulled these 4 items out. I wanted to share them with you because they are the 4 items that our leadership and we are all really, really proud of, because they're really reflective of our vision and values and our culture. If you look at the top left, I'm proud to work for the company. That's a huge engagement indicator for us. It shows that people are engaged, they're happy where they're working, they're more likely to stay, and that's the kind of culture that we want to build. Also, embracing diversity and inclusion, making sure our associates have a clear understanding of what they need to do to serve our clients, and training and development, and as Crystal talked about, safety is a top priority for us. So these numbers are really significant because these are the results of 100,000 people saying that this is how they see us as a company. So we're performing well internally, but we're also performing really well against best-in-class external companies. I'm going to go quickly through this next slide here, if it goes. And I'm pointing this out. These are engagement and retention actions that we do, but what's meaningful here is not that we're doing development plans or performance appraisals, because you're all doing that in your organization. But what's meaningful here are those percentage numbers, the compliance numbers, that we have really listened to what our associates are saying, and we're doubling down and making sure that we're delivering on the commitments to connect with our people. And now I'm going to share the case study, which is really the part that I'm most excited to share. I really love what this sector, what this company is doing. They're called Canteen. They're one of our sectors. Those of you who are familiar with vending might know Canteen. They started in Chicago in the early 1900s as just a vending company, and they've really grown. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But going back to 2015, they went through a big organizational change. They had a new CEO, and the CEO had seen the engagement results for the first time. And as a result of those 2015 engagement results, the CEO and the leadership team decided we're going to focus on 3 things that we really, really think are going to change our culture. These 3 things, these are the things our employees are saying they need more of, and we think that we're going to move our people culture and our business by making improvements on these 3 things, which are communications, incentives, and that was more tied to recognition and to sharing success, and training and development. And what they did is they made a commitment that in every single communication that they made over the next 2 years from 2015 to 2017, every single communication was going to tie back to these three initiatives. Every single HR or people or training and development initiative was going to tie back to this, and they were going to communicate it over and over and over again so that associates knew that the leadership was engaged, was listening, and was connecting with them. And the results for 2017 really capture the success of the effort that they put into focusing on these 3 areas. There we go. So I won't read everything off, but if you just, off of the slide, but if you just look at the increases that were so meaningful, overall, all categories, 77 went up 5 points. Engagement scores increased to 80%. And this, the third bullet, is what we are really excited about, and that is I'm proud to work for a company, up 11 points. I mean, that is just so statistically significant, and it tells a great story. All the dimensions went up with the exception of one that trended down. So this last piece I'm going to read to you. Brittany told me not to have any notes up here, but I didn't memorize these last questions, but I wanted to share them with you because they're so meaningful to us. And these are some of the scores that went up. And that's, my work gives me a feeling of personal accomplishment, went up 11 percentage points. I received the training I need to do my job safely and well, went up 13 percentage points. And my manager recognizes me when I do a good job, went up 18 percentage points over 2 years. I mean, it just shows their success. And I think what's really great about this story is you can do this. It doesn't matter the size of your organization or where you are on the engagement scale in terms of listening. It can be done in any organization. And I'm really proud to say that Canteen is now our fastest growing business, and they're approaching $2 billion in revenues every year. I mean, they're just doing phenomenal work. So I'm gonna pass it over to Moon now, but I'm gonna leave you with kind of 3 takeaways. And those 3 takeaways are: get your leadership engaged, have a top to bottom initiative, get your communications teams engaged, make them part of that team so that they're communicating and they are listening. There's 2-way listening going on. And commit to your action items and stick with it, and you will see positive results.
Nice. Preach it, sister. Thank you. Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love the way that you're using a listening strategy to inform what really is important, which is that continuous action story, that continuing connection with the employees. And you see that through those 9 million engagement points with consumers as well, with your clients. That just completes the value chain all the way through. That's phenomenal. Thank you. And what a scale as well. Congratulations.